Hello, everybody. In today's lesson, we're going to continue with modeling three-digit numbers and talking about how to write three-digit numbers. In this lesson, you should be able to answer the essential question of how do you show a three-digit number using blocks? In other words, how do we create models for these? And we've been actually talking about the models for three-digit numbers in the last couple of lessons. So we're on page 65 of the second grade Go Math textbook. So let me read the situation to you, and then we'll model using 10 rods and 100 blocks as well as ones. All right, so let's see. Jack has 12 blocks, 10 blocks, 12 tens blocks. How many hundreds and tens does Jack have? Use your blocks to show 12 10 blocks. Okay. So what'd you come up with? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so is that what you came up with on your 10 blocks? So we have 12 tens. Okay. Now, draw a quick picture to show this, and I want you to circle 10 tens. Okay, so I'm going to move these to the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so that's what we had, right? We had 12 tens. Okay, so we're going to circle 10 tens. Why are we circling 10 tens? Because we know that that's 100. Okay. So we have 100 and we have 2 tens left, right? So we know that he has 100 and 2 tens. Which we know we can write as 120. Okay. All right, let's look at page 66. So look at this number. In the number 348, the 3 is in the hundreds place, the 4 is in the tens place, and the 8 is in the ones place. So we can break this apart. We can break the number 340 apart into its place value. How many hundreds do we have? We have 300. How many tens do we have? We have 4 tens. How many ones do we have? 8 ones. And we can show that using a model. So we have a 100 block, another 100 block, and a third 100 block, right? 3 hundreds, 1, 2, 3. 4 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4 tens, and 8 ones. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that would be using actual blocks, right? But we can use a quick picture that we've been talking about in the last couple of lessons. So the square represents 100. So 1, 2, 3 hundreds. The straight line or individual dots, I just use a straight line myself to represent the tens. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. Okay, so if we outline this, right, or trace the dashed lines, we get 3 hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ones. Okay. So that's the place value for 348 and how to show it using a model or a quick picture. All right, so now how about this one? Show using blocks and then draw a quick picture. So we have 234. All right, so let's go back to here. What number's in the hundreds place? The 2. What number's in the tens place? The 3, right? 3. And how many ones? 4. So 2 hundreds, 3 tens, and 4 ones. So what would that look like? Okay, well, we'd have to have 2 hundreds, okay? We'd have 3 tens, okay, 3 tens, and 4 ones. Okay, so 2 hundreds, 3 tens, 4 ones. 234. So quick picture would be 2 squares to represent the hundreds, 3 straight lines for the 3 tens, and 4 circles to represent the 4 ones. Okay, so 234. All right, how about 156? So as you're doing this, if you want to pause the videos and see if you get your model right, I would do so, okay? So we can practice seeing if we can do this on our own. 156. We know the 1 is in the hundreds place. I said 150. So 5 tens would be 50 and 6 ones. 156. All right. So did you come up with 100 block? 5 tens and 6 ones? One hundred, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 156. 246. 156. So what was the quick picture look like? We have the 100. We have the 5 tens. And we have 6 ones. 156. Okay, simple as that for using the models. All right. Now let's look at page 67. So we're going to continue using the models and quick pictures. Okay. So this time I want you to use your 100 block and your 10 blocks and your 1 blocks to show this number, 125. How many hundreds do we have? We have 100. 20, we'd have 2 tens. 25 would be 5 ones. So if I was using the blocks, I'd have 100. I'd have 2 tens. And I'd have 5 ones. Okay. So 125. So if we draw a picture, we had 100 block. We had 2 tens to represent the 20. And we had 5 ones. $125. 312. 300. So we have 300s. 10. If you say 10, you only have 1 10. 12. would give me 2 ones, right? So we have 3 in the hundreds place, 1 in the tens place, 2 in the ones place. So if we were modeling that, we'd have 300 blocks. Okay. This time I'm going to put the hundreds, tens, and the ones below just for this part of it. Okay, so we have 300, 110, 300s, 110, and 2 ones. So 312. So this time we're going to have 3 squares representing 300. We have 1 in the tens place, so we have 1 set of tens, and we had 2 ones. So 312. 245. So listen to yourself say that number carefully. 245. 200s, right? That's what we started with. We said 240. That means you have 4 tens, 45, 5 ones. So we're going to have 200 blocks. We'd have 4 tens, and we'd have 5 ones. Okay. So 245. So we can draw a quick picture. For the 200, you're going to draw 2 squares. For the 4 tens, 4 lines to represent 4 10 rods, and 5 ones, 5 circles. 245. All right. 103. Okay, so don't get tricked on this one. 100. So we have 1 in the hundreds place. And you notice the next digit is a 0. So this means we have 0 tens and 3 ones. So we have a 100 block and just 3 ones. Okay, so 103. We show that with just a 100 block and 3 ones. There are not any tens in this number. All right, how about 419? So I see 4 in the hundreds place. I see 1 in the tens place. And I see 9 in the ones place. So 400. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and skip to the quick picture on this one now. So there's 100, 200, 300, 400. Okay, so 400 blocks, 1 10 rod, and 9 ones. Okay. 419. 328. We have 3 in the hundreds place. We have 2 in the tens place. And 8 ones. So if you model that out, you'd have 300 blocks. You'd have 2 10 rods. And we'd have 8 ones. Okay, let's look at page 68. So how are the numbers 342 and 324 alike? And how are they different? 342, 324. Well, they're both 3-digit numbers, right? Okay, so okay, is there anything else that they have in common? Well, let me draw a picture of them. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. That's 342 and 324. Well, the only thing I really see that's in common is that they both have 300. So how are they different? Well, 342 has 4 tens and 2 ones, and 324 has 2 tens and 4 ones. So they've switched places with the tens and the ones, right? Here, the 2 is in the ones place. Here, it is in the tens place. Here, the 4 is in the tens place, and this number is in the ones place. Okay. All right, write the number for the clue. All right. So a model for my number has 200 blocks, no tens, and 3 ones. So what is that number? 2 hundreds, no tens, 3 ones. Well, we know it's going to start with 2. So 200, no tens. So that's got to be a 0, right? To show 0 tens and 3 ones. 203. 200s, 3. 3 ones. 203. All right, so 11. A model for my number has 300s, 5 tens, and no ones. All right, let's see if we can draw a picture for that. 300s. All right, there's 300s, 5 tens. All right, there's 5 tens, no ones. All right, so we have 300s, 5 tens, and 0 ones. And that's what we would say, right? We'd say 300, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 350. Number 12. There are 2 boxes of 100 pencils and some single pencils on the table and some single pencils. Choose all the numbers that show how many pencils could be on the table. All right, well, let's see. So we know that we have 2 boxes of 100, and then there's some single pencils. That means there's no tens, right? So I can't have 200 because it says there are some single pencils. So the smallest number I could have is 201. Well, that's not one of my choices. I could have 202. That's not one of my choices. I could have 203, right? 200s, two boxes of 100, and some single pencils. 1 pencil, 2 pencils, 3 pencils. So this would be a possibility. We know it's not 106 because we have 200s. We know it's not 200 because there had to be some singles. Would 207 work? Yeah, we could have 7 ones or 7 singles. Okay, singles mean ones. 207 would also work. So those are our 2 possibilities. All right, so one thing you can practice is have somebody give you 3-digit numbers and see if you can draw quick pictures for them. Okay, and see if you can identify the place value of each of the digits in the number. So for instance, if somebody told you draw a quick picture for 438, what would you do? Well, hopefully you'd say I would draw 4 squares, three tens or three lines for tens, and I would make 8 circles. I could say that there's 4 in the hundreds place, 3 in the tens place, and 8 in the ones place. So that's really it for modeling 3-digit numbers. So until our next lesson, I'll see you soon.